La dee doodle la dee dum dum dee dum dum da dee.
Hi to everyone. I'm back in the house since the last time. I had a nice message a couple of posts ago. Fran, one of our patrons, was suggesting that I do the tune that goes after the Old Maids of Galway. And indeed, I thought, yeah, that's a nice idea to do that, although I liked doing that little buffer, as I'll call the 7/8 tune from last week. So I hope you enjoyed The Fruit and the Snoot. And so, yes, Lizzy and the Lowground, I can tell the story of this one. I was lucky enough to be asked to go out and teach at the Festival of American Fiddle Tunes some years ago. When I was there, someone else that was teaching fiddle that week was an old-time fiddle player from Kentucky named J.P. Fraley. He was really well known in the old-time world, and I had to look him up there just a few minutes ago to see what year did he die, and he died in 2011. I'm not sure what year I would have seen him at the Festival of American Fiddle Tunes, Port Townsend, but that year I sat in on one of his classes just to soak it all in and be around his music. And I walked away from that week and was thinking about him and his music and just made up this tune. And so I think of it very much as being almost in a old-timey world, a little closer to old-timey than to Irish. And of course, as I've said before, I can't resist doing the Irishisms. So, you know, something that could probably have just been an old-time tune gets rolls, gets Irish notes. And yeah, I was talking to Charlie Walden there recently, or it might have been Pat Plunkett, and she said they were laughing because I was saying something is really an old-time tune, and they went, no, it's not. So if you're really old-time, this doesn't cut it. If you're Irish, you might, like me, get the feeling that this is a little bit old-time. But here's the tune. So it's in a very nice sonic world. It's in with these kinds of notes. I think that when you get in the world of a key like that, it can be really nice just to even bop around your fiddle and make little connections of notes. So if I were just playing in this key, just do a little phrase like that. And then you can say to yourself, I think I'm going to tag a note to that phrase. And you can change that note. And when you do these little changes along the way, you can start making decisions about what you really want to keep and what you want to get rid of. And of course, this is happening at a very slow pace. I mean, you can also just play totally at a speed and allow yourself to make errors and just find your way into a melody, which, as I'm assuming, is how I would have made up that last tune. Lizzy and the Lowground. But again, if I just move around my fiddle and I throw out questions to myself and answer myself, I can be doing things like, or I can go, I'm talking about being at speed, you could also just say to yourself, I'm going to do a waltz, and I'm going to do a fairly fast, upbeat waltz. I'm just making that. You know, and it can go even faster. But one thing about doing that too, just for your playing, is that you can escape when you're making mistakes on a stage. If I only knew Lizzy and the Lowground, absolutely just those notes, then it might throw me off to play a different note, which you can do in the heat of the moment on a stage, and you can go into another note and not find your way back. So you almost have to say to yourself that there's nothing is a wrong note. Everything is okay, and I can find my way around as long as you do a little bit of work and play the tune through. So I'm going to play it once more, Lizzy and the Lowground, for you to play along with. You have, oh, I don't think I did give you the notes the last time, but you have the recording. So I'll give you the notes attached here. I should say too that the other thing that's happening, even as I was bopping around on the fiddle there, I almost wanted to say that it doesn't have to happen on the instrument. You know, we have our voices, and in fact, our voice and our thoughts and our fingers and the bow are all trying to be coordinated together, right? And so at the same time that I'm kind of going around that fiddle and just making up that waltz, I can also, with my voice, just stay in that key. And I'm not a good singer, so you have no excuse to not do it if I'll do it. But you can really go dum dee da da dum da da dee dum da da dee dum da dum dee da dee da 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 la da la da la dee da 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 la da la da lam da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 la da da la da lam da 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 la dee da dee da 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 da. No, so I'm making all of that up, and you know, I just went for a walk before I sat down to chat with you here, and you know, anything at all that opens your head is just wonderful. As I was walking, I was realizing I was having little tunes popping into my head, and you know, we can sing these out loud and we can also just internalize them, but it's a way of getting good at your fiddling and also just deciding, I want to keep this, I want to keep that, I want to get rid of that. And sometimes a little magic happens and you find some really nice notes that make sense together and will kind of always work together. I feel like this is maybe one of those little tunes that I was not lucky enough to hit on. So here it is again. And one very solid variation that I always loved doing was so that's a lot of fun to do, and feel free to steal that, take that, try that. Again, so maybe what I'm talking about this week is this lovely key. What is it? Is it B flat? Yes, so it's the key of B flat. And maybe you'd like to make a tune in B flat, and maybe you'd also like to find this tune, maybe a nice little combination of moving around your fiddle and playing notes in this key and singing using your voice to create a start to a tune. Da, da, da. Okay, I'm up an octave. Da, da. If you wanted, you could actually take that B flat as your first note and experiment about where you want to go next. Down. It can go up, down, da, da, and yeah, go for a nice walk. Bring your voice, and see what tune you might like to think of, and send it on to me. I'd love to hear what you're up to, as always. Bye.